So it's like people don't even recognize
dark.
where
Dude,
now it's
yes.
Hey guys, I'm off the grid for August, but JD Vance is not a white supremacist. He's just someone saying kind of basically true things that everybody used to know 20 years ago. Here you go.
We were talking about like the sterilizing of kids and all this stuff. Like, what do you think the actual purpose of that shit is?
I don't know, man.
Like, what would the...
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I had a friend from law school. I got into a big argument about this with a few years ago, and we're basically not friends anymore, which is sad because I love this person. But I think part of it is these people think that everything that's different about men and women is, they use this word, socially constructed, right? It all comes from culture, and it's like we all know this, right? Men and women, yes, some of our differences are cultural. Some of our differences are just basic biology, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're so uncomfortable with that they try to biologically change men into women and women into men, because if you can get rid of the biological differences, then you can kind of get rid of all the other differences too. And I think you guys know Tucker Carlson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tucker and I have talked a lot about this, but men and women being different to me is not like a bad thing. It's a source of one of the coolest parts about being like a living, breathing human being in the world, right? Is women think about stuff slightly differently than men do, and that is a good thing. And we shouldn't try to like destroy those differences in the name of equality. We should give women and men equal opportunity and equal chances.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are going to make different choices, right? And that's okay. And because men and women make different choices, that's like not an excuse to sterilize kids to try to turn a girl into a boy or vice versa. But that's what they're doing. And man, the tell on this stuff, like I really didn't care about this stuff until a few years ago. I think maybe being a father changes your mind a little bit on this stuff. But the tell for me was when they started saying, well, this stuff is totally reversible. If you give hormonal therapies to a 9-year-old kid, that is not totally reversible. I mean, these kids have like bladder problems and other stuff that's just gross. And why are we doing this to our kids without any real confidence in the science? It makes you realize, frankly, a lot of the public health establishment in this country is pretty deranged.
And it's also a whole nother, like, I don't think people even recognize this. It's a whole nother, like, a revenue source for the pharmaceutical industry, where it's like, they're making it like, I forget what the word is when you can get your insurance to pay for something, where it's like, if it's a life, you need it.
Yep.
They're making
then
like
it becomes reimbursable.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like, people don't even recognize
dark.
where
Dude,
now
yes, that's the exact right word for it. It's dark. I mean, dude, like one of the things I actually agree with, at least the old school left on, is you got to be careful about when big corporations use financial incentives to control the government, right? Yeah. Like you don't want people getting rich because they passed a law.
I know.
You want people getting rich because they make products that people need, right? So this is always a criticism that the old left made about American healthcare, is you don't want to force doctors to give people something just because it's going to make some pharmaceutical company rich, right? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, we right now are giving kids hormonal therapies. Pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars off of this.
Yeah.
And none of us are looking around and saying, well, wait a second. Is this good because they're making money off of it? Or is it good because it's actually in the best interest of these kids? And that is something, again, the Democratic Party of 30 years ago would have went wild over this, because it's money intersecting with medicine in a way that's really bad for human beings. And now the only people talking about it are Republicans.
You know, it's weird. I saw Gavin Newsom pass that bill recently about how if a kid wants to become trans at school, they don't have to tell the parents.
Which is sick.
Which blew my mind to even hear something like that.
Yeah, which is sick because, I mean, like all of us have been teenagers before. All teenagers go through awkward phases where they don't exactly know what their place is. Or they, people go through emo phases, or they dye their hair black. Like every kid goes through some developmental phase where they're confused. And what this weird movement is doing is encouraging people to like latch onto their insecurities, not tell their parents about them, right?
Yeah.
And then I haven't confirmed this, so check my facts here. But I've also heard that in California, like if you're a parent and you think maybe it's a little crazy to give your 12-year-old hormonal therapies, you can be at risk of having your kids taken away. Like I'm a father of 3. That would make me go absolutely, like, we're moving to the hills. Keep your hands off my kids. This is crazy town.
But also another level to that is, in that bill that he's talking about passing, this, like, it's the gender affirming care. They don't have to tell the parents. So the kids are just talking to some random adult about how they feel a certain way. And like, that's even beyond what you're saying, even more concerning, because it's like that human being could have completely different biases.
Yeah.
And so they're going to input them on whoever's the kid is telling them, like, how I feel.
And not just biases. I don't trust some stranger to talk to my kid about their sex and their gender.
Period.
Right?
Like, I don't,
period,
whether
right?
it's that or just the normal. It's like, why are you just not talking to kids about math and
yes, exactly.
school?
And by the way, we're falling behind in math and reading. So we our leaders are trying to convince our teachers to talk to kids about gender reassignment when they're 12 years old. Meanwhile, we don't do math as good as we used to. We don't do reading as good as we used to. Maybe we should focus on the that schools are actually supposed to teach kids. Again, it's it's common sense, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, that's their view, is that we should be teaching kids gender reassignment, and they think that we're weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Ever wonder why some people just don't get sick? After strengthening my immune system with ARMRA Colostrum, I'm now one of those people. The benefits are truly incredible. Colostrum is the first nutrition we receive in life and is an exclusive source of all of the essential nutrients we need in order to thrive. ARMRA Colostrum is a proprietary concentrate of bovine colostrum that harnesses over 400 functional nutrients to strengthen your immune barriers, your body's inside suit of armor, and first line of defense against harmful particles from the environment that can trigger inflammation and make you sick. It strengthens immunity, ignites metabolism, fortifies gut health, promotes hair growth and skin radiance, and powers fitness, performance, and recovery. It's a rich, exclusive source of immunoglobulins, which are antibodies that optimize your immune defense during cold and flu season. And their premium grass-fed bovine colostrum concentrate activates cellular health for your resilience and recovery. In clinical trials, bovine colostrum was found to be at least 3 times more effective than the flu vaccine at preventing the flu. We've worked out an exclusive offer for my audience. Lock in a special time monthly auto ship rate of $99 and get a free starter kit on your first order. This kit includes an ARMRA carafe and travel pack to kickstart your transformation. Go to tryarmra.com/Rubin to get this exclusive offer valued at over $150 for only $99. That's TRYARMRA.com/Rubin.